Hello out there and good morning. It is December 13th, 2023, and welcome to our Apteros DMI or Daily Market Insight, which essentially is our pre-market prep and our plan for the session. So yesterday's session was fairly straightforward in terms of planning. We were looking to stay bullish as long as we were above this lower line in the sand area here. Didn't really want to see anything get below that zone to remain a bull. This upper line in the sand, not quite as important as the lower one, but we were definitely monitoring it for the upside early in the session. And then if it broke down, any downside movement, possibly with a pullback into our lower line in the sand. And yesterday's CPI number came in, and the market essentially just started seeking out liquidity, as it were. It was really just a situation where that particular announcement, people are positioning all over the place, and we got a early push from the announcement close to our target area, a pullback, and then a rally back up all the way into our main target zone. And this, area here, this really was kind of like the main thrust of what we were looking for overall with our prep. In other words, staying bullish above this line in the sand. The precision just wasn't there, essentially because once that volatility really picks up like that, sometimes these references can get pushed through and then still maintain a general bias. So that was kind of the situation we had yesterday. I tried to be transparent about that plan. In other words, with volatility picking up, we just want to maintain a bias above the main line in the sand, which is really this area here. I did offer opportunities to possibly get short off of this line in the sand if it broke down. And that's kind of essentially what we started to see. CPI number comes out, doesn't quite get to our target, pushes down. Possibility to get long in this little section here, but then once that fails, definitely a short to the downside that does not reach the target. Comes back up, same kind of deal here. We start to get that acceptance picture or transition back into our main scenario 1 there, and just following along with the bulls here from pullbacks and trying to get up into our target zone. And that really was kind of the story of what was going on yesterday. All right, so let me update our levels for today, and we'll get after it. Okay, so once again, we're looking at a very similar type of picture as we had yesterday. We're looking at 2 lines in the sand, 2 areas to watch, and both of them right now are biased to the bullish side of things. We'll be able to possibly get on board with some shorts from this upper line in the sand if it breaks down. Now, we do have news today. We do have volatility coming in. Today's news is arguably just as important, if not more important, than what we were seeing yesterday. So volatility is definitely going to be present today. So definitely mind your risk, mind your process, trade the best you can. If this is not your environment, there is nothing wrong with just sitting on the sidelines and not trading and waiting for this stuff to shake out over the course of this week, definitely today, and maybe even towards the end of the week. So just keep that in mind as you're trading today. Let's take a look at our different scenarios for our lines in the sand here. So first line in the sand is this upper one here. And we are seeing essentially the same kind of deal we were seeing yesterday. The current what is scenario 1. So we're holding up above there. We're looking for possible continuations up into that area there, the 47.1250s. And then I do have a target that is a little bit higher up above there, up into that 47.35, 38 area there. And that's the main target area for what we're looking for to the upside overall. Like that's the stretch target, right? First target would be here. Second target would be there. This neutral inflection is really just an opportunity to look for any type of continuations. In other words, if we hold up above this, we could possibly see a continuation to here or here. So that's just something to pay attention to. This lower line in the sand, not as important, or this lower neutral reference, I'm sorry, is not as important. Whereas these 2 targets are definitely important for us to look for to the upside in scenario 1. Okay, so that's scenario 1 holding above our upper line in the sand. Scenario 2 is a breakdown of that upper line in the sand, so something like this coming into play. Definitely not with the current bias, right? That's not with the current bullishness that we're seeing in the market overall. So this is definitely like a lesser opportunity, a short scalping type of opportunity, but it would be a fresh shift on one of our time frames. We'll be monitoring that and watching it play out. And it is a short-term type of opportunity, maybe even for shorter targets or some scalping type of ideas. All right, so now looking at the lower area here, the lower line in the sand, this is still our main bias. This is still our main line in the sand for today. So we're watching the upper zone from that with scenario 3. If we get the full pullback into here, we're looking for that inflection, that continuation, the upside, looking for this is our first target, then any continuations to the upside as well. And then, of course, scenario 4 is a full-on breakdown of our line in the sand. We do have targets lower for that scenario, in that, we would see something down to the 46.44s, 46.31, 46.17. That would be kind of the 3 areas that I'd be monitoring if we got scenario 4. So right into here, or right into here. All right. So that's kind of the breakdown of everything. Very similar to what we were seeing yesterday. So just pay attention to that. Also, mind that this is the main bullish line in the sand. If we do get below this upper one, the bullishness isn't necessarily over, but it is compromised a little bit. Similar to what we kind of saw yesterday, where we got a much more extended push to the downside once we broke our upper line in the sand, right? So something similar to yesterday could happen if we end up seeing that upper line in the sand breakdown, okay? So mind your risk, trade your process really well. Let's have a great trading day out there. If this is not your environment, there is nothing wrong with just sitting off to the sidelines and waiting for this stuff to shake out today. Like I said, there's going to be news coming for most of the session today, so just pay attention and have a great trading day.